make your pop-up book, you're going to be using card and paper, and the basic equipment that you're going to need, as well as your paper and card for your materials, are going to be some things to actually cut and to fold your materials. Main things are going to be scissors. These are left-handed ones, or there are right-handed scissors. Now those I would use to cut quite simple shapes by hand. If you've got more complicated shapes, you might want to use a craft knife, and whenever you use a craft knife you're going to need to use a cutting mat and a safety ruler. And then when you come to stick your pieces down, you're going to need to either use some glue in the form of a glue stick, or you could use some double-sided tape. Basic rules are to fold the dashed lines and to cut the straight lines. Simple shapes, cut with scissors. If it's a bit more of a complex shape, or especially in this example, we've got to cut this little piece out here. Now that's going to be very difficult to get our scissors in there, so for that I'm going to use a craft knife. There's some very important rules to remember with the craft knife. The blade in there is very, very sharp. Whenever you're not using it, it needs to be put back in using the little button on the side and left flat on the side. Never walk around with a knife in your hand. Always put the blade back in and always leave it on the side when you're not using it. So when you're ready to use it, take it out, and the golden rule to remember with the craft knife is to keep the blades and the knife as flat as possible. If you stab into the paper, you'll just crease the card, and it'll be really untidy and you're much more likely to hurt yourself. So what you want to try and do is to keep it as flat as possible and press down with your forefinger or your thumb from above. Now for this one, we're going to look at how to make a V-fold. Now you've got V-folds are basically one of the main types of pop-ups that you've got. In this case, we've got a V-fold to make a shark. And very basically, all we need is a page that folds down the middle, like that. And then we need just another piece, and we could cut it into be the shape of a snowman or something like that. Now basically all we need to do is to fold it down the middle, score it and fold it down the middle. So like that. Then leave a gap at the bottom for another fold, and then trim these edges, and these become the tabs. Now what we do is fold the tabs over, fold the piece in half, and then stick down the tabs. So I've got my glue on the tabs. Now what I want to do is fold it in half and position it at an angle on here. Now the more of a tight angle you have, or depending on the angle, is going to depend on how much it shoots up when you open the page. I'm going to leave it like that. Close the page down on it, and now we've got a simple pop-up. And again, once you've got that basic mechanism, you can adjust it and adapt it and do whatever you like with it. This one, rather than folding that way, I'm going to have it folding this way. So they open up in two different ways. One's moving forwards and the other one's moving backwards as we open the page.